I'm Tyler Hanencheck,
My name is Alyssa Fritz.
My name's Keegan McGowan.
And I'm Logan McCollister.
and this is our group project on NVIDIA and organizational analysis about the graphics card and chip maker based in the US. This is our table of contents for our slides. This is a brief company overview of when the company was founded in 1993. As I stated before, it's an American technology company headquartered in Santa Clara, California. They originally started as a video game technology company focused on graphics and video processing. They grew to be a industry leader, focusing on computer architecture, data centers. They partner with different automotive companies. They've developed radar, lidar, and they're very, very wide-ranging and very, very innovative technology company. For their organizational purpose, quote, their mission statement is to bring superhuman capabilities to every human in every industry. Their vision statement is to enable a world where everyone can experience the power of AI. So they serve four primary markets, which is their data centers, which actually has been growing quite a bit and has been a top earner for them recently in the last few fiscal years. Their gaming center, professional visualization, and then, as stated before, their automotive market. They focus on solving some of the world's most difficult problems, right, through model training, analytics, and 3D graphics. And currently, their chips are used in just about everything, but some of the more advanced technology and features they're used in are data centers, AI modeling, cloud computing, autonomous vehicles, different scientific research, and robotics, which has also been a top earner and is consistently growing for them. So, as we learn in class, to create value, you start with inputs, go into the conversion process. Through the conversion process, they produce outputs, and the environments shape all of those. The outputs get released into NVIDIA's environment, right? And then the inputs as well are obtained from the environment. So it is just a consistent circle. Some of the inputs are the materials and technology that go into semiconductors or chips, as they're also known. Um, the personnel, so you have your engineers, developers, researchers, their collaboration with partners and manufacturers. When they transform these, you have their research and development, you have manufacturing, marketing, and distribution. And then for their outputs, you have their GPUs, their computer system architecture, the computing platforms, basically their end products, right? And what they're serving to the consumer and to businesses. And then the environment that shapes NVIDIA is their customers, their cloud providers, different partners, hardware partners as well, like Dell, Asus, and then regulators, which we'll learn about in a little bit. They're a huge part of NVIDIA's environment. Most importantly, the US and China. So major problems and issues that NVIDIA faces. So they face pressure on both sides of the trade war from US and China. Um, this obviously, the this war for, trade and intellectual property has been going on a lot longer than just, since Trump was in office, but obviously it's become a focal point of this administration. So most currently there's a 15% levy on chips being sold to China. They've actually stopped some of their higher production and more advanced chips from even being sold to China. I believe there's currently talks right now on what's going to be allowed. Um, then you have and many companies, manufacturing challenges. Obviously, for making semiconductors and chips, it's extremely complex, and some of their newer chips have face some thermal issues and power delivery. And all of these factors have reduced global chip sales and obviously impacted business with China, which is Nvidia's fourth largest market, but has consistently been growing to become a larger and larger market and just going up and up. So all of those obviously, that comes with pressure to comply with local regulators from China, but also from the US. And it just becomes a huge, huge give and take. And they're just kind of caught in the middle. For the performance evaluation, um, they hit record revenue in fiscal year 2025, 130.5 billion dollars, up 114% year over year. For control, they've got a strong corporate governance, strategic partnerships, um, innovation. Like I said, they're an industry leader in innovation and production and manufacturing and all of the above. They're leading in AI GPU architecture. They've revolutionized Ethernet for AI, which has produced 1.6 better network performance. And for efficiency, they have an extremely fast and agile structure. They've recently just met 100% renewable electricity for their offices and data centers. And their shareholder value is up 134% from fiscal year 2024 to fiscal year 2025. And then there's just a brief graphic here with the four different markets that I mentioned earlier and what they're producing and what they're gaining in revenue from each one of those markets and how much that is up over the year.
Hi, today I'll be discussing NVIDIA's organizational culture, including the language, stories, beliefs, and innovation-driven mindset that sets the company apart. First, NVIDIA has a strong shared language that reflects their identity and ambition. Some common phrases heard throughout the company include accelerated computing, AI revolution, or the AI era, the world's most advanced GPUs, full stack computing, and reinventing industries through AI. These terms reinforce their vision and keep employees aligned on future goals. NVIDIA's culture is also shaped by powerful origin stories. For example, Jensen Huang founded NVIDIA in 1993 with only $40,000 and the belief that graphics processing would change the world. Another key story is the invention of the CUDA platform in 2006, which unlocked AI and deep learning breakthroughs. A major cultural milestone was the pivot from video game graphics to AI and data center computing, now NVIDIA's main revenue source. And finally, Jensen's famous kitchen keynote speeches during COVID have become symbolic of resilience and innovation during challenging times. Now, looking at employee socialization, NVIDIA has a strategic approach to integrating new hires into the organization. Employees participate in NVIDIA orientation, where they learn the mission, AI strategy, and cultural expectations. Technical employees also complete CUDA training, AI bootcamps, and internal engineering certifications. Leadership development is supported through programs like NVIDIA Leadership Essentials and Manager Acceleration Workshops. Overall, onboarding emphasizes fast learning, innovation, and cross-team collaboration. The goals of socialization are clear: to instill an innovation-driven mindset, quickly integrate employees into fast-moving GPU and AI projects, and ensure everyone is aligned with NVIDIA's core values of excellence, speed, and curiosity. NVIDIA's culture is grounded in 5 core values: innovation, constantly pushing the boundaries of AI, robotics, and GPU computing; speed and agility, rapidly executing in a fast-changing industry; excellence, maintaining high performance expectations across engineering teams; collaboration, strong coordination between hardware, software, and AI divisions; integrity, commitment to ethical technology development and trustworthy partnerships. These values influence behavior across the organization. Engineers are motivated to experiment and prototype bold solutions. Work is high intensity due to ongoing technological change. Decision-making encourages breakthroughs and long-term strategic bets, and employees take ownership of projects, leading to bottom-up contributions. NVIDIA has a strong innovative culture that is engineering driven, fast moving, and highly influenced by its founder, Jensen Huang. This culture enables NVIDIA to lead in emerging markets like AI chips and data centers. It attracts top engineering talent and drives breakthrough technologies like CUDA, TensorRT, Omniverse, and advanced GPUs. However, this culture also brings challenges. The fast pace can result in high pressure and burnout. A heavy focus on engineering may create silos, and more structured employee wellness programs could further support the workforce. Enhanced communication across rapidly scaling divisions and stronger diversity efforts would also benefit the organization. NVIDIA continues to make investments in social responsibility. Their priorities include sustainable computing and reducing the energy usage of data centers, renewable energy initiatives, water efficiency, and lowering carbon emissions. They uphold ethical AI development with a focus on transparency and fairness. In addition, they support STEM education and philanthropic activities through the NVIDIA Foundation. Public perception of NVIDIA is generally positive. The company is seen as a leader in responsible innovation. However, there is also scrutiny due to global chip shortages and supply chain pressures.
Nature of change. So NVIDIA has gone through mostly revolutionary change in the recent years. The reason for this is because the company shifted very quickly from being known more for gaming cards to becoming one of the top companies in artificial intelligence. The demand for AI grew very fast, and NVIDIA had to expand their technology teams and production at the same time for this. Their stock value also rose extremely fast because of this, which shows how big the change was. And even though NVIDIA has, evolved slowly in the past, the AI boom caused a huge and sudden change for them. And that's why I would say it's more revolutionary than evolutionary. So types of change NVIDIA has gone through. NVIDIA has gone through different kinds of change to grow. The first type is structuring, which means organizing the company differently. They built new teams for AI, cloud computing, and self-driving cars. The second type is technological upgrading, where they improve their chips every few years to stay ahead. The third type is market expansion, where they move into new industries like healthcare, robots, and car technology. These changes have worked very well in the past, and that's why NVIDIA became the leader in AI chips while also increasing its revenue and company value. Oh, change analysis. So many forces push NVIDIA to change. The world needs more AI computing, and companies like AMD and Intel compete with them. Cloud computing and self-driving cars also require stronger chips, but NVIDIA also faces obstacles as well when doing this. There are chip shortages, high manufacturing costs, strict government rules, especially about selling chips to China. They also rely heavily on one of TSMC's to make their chips. To deal with this, NVIDIA is going to have to invest $1 billion in research, form partnerships with companies like Tesla and Google, and enter new markets to spread their risk. Their strategy is to focus on long-term innovation instead of short-term profits. Organizational life cycles. So they were founded in 1993. Jensen Huang and Chris Malowski and Curtis Prem are the founders. The original opportunity was in growing demand for fast processing processors for PCs and video games. Their original mission was to create high-performance GPUs that could handle computer graphics and 3D gaming. Overall, NVIDIA's main focus was to become the leader in visual computing. Growth, challenges, and Greiner's model. So NVIDIA grew fast because of the rise of video games and 3D graphics. At first, they were in the creativity stage, making their first GPUs, building a name for themselves, and then they moved the direction to, adding more structure as they grew. So after that, they came the delegation stage where more of the leaders and departments were added. Later, they reached the coordination stage, especially when AI and data centers teams had to work together. Today, they are in the collaboration stage where teamwork and partnerships help them innovate faster. However, along the way, NVIDIA did face some challenges like competition and supply chain issues, but they solved them by investing more in research and new technology. Current stage and problems. So right now, NVIDIA is in the maturity and expansion, but it grows very quickly because of AI. Some internal problems include pressure to keep innovating fast, which creates high workloads for employees. Externally, they also face competition like government rules, high demand, which is hard to keep up with. To respond to this, managers invest in new chips, designs, build partnerships, hire more workers in AI and robotics, and expand into new markets like healthcare and cloud computing. Decline and turnaround history. So NVIDIA has dealt with decline before, especially in the early 2000s. ATI, now known as AMD, hurt their sales in 2008, which was a major chip failure, which cost them a lot of money. Another instance was 2012 when fewer people were buying gaming PCs, which slowed down their sales. To recover from this, NVIDIA changed direction and focused on AI and data centers and machine learning. They also invested heavily in CUDA software, which gave them an advantage over competitors. Because of these choices, NVIDIA not only bounced back from this, but they also made one of the most valuable tech companies in the world.
Forces and obstacles to change. NVIDIA faces strong forces that push continuous change. These include rapid advancements in AI and machine learning, rising demand for data center GPUs like the H100 and the GH200, and pressure from competitors such as AMD, Intel, and custom AI chips from companies like Google and Amazon. There is also expanding adoption of AI in healthcare, robotics, automotive, and cloud, along with the increasing need for energy-efficient computing. However, there are obstacles, high R&D costs, long development cycles, global supply chain limitations, especially reliance on TSMC for manufacturing, and regulatory pressure around semiconductor exports and AI dominance. Talent scarcity in specialized engineering fields and the risk of stretching resources across too many projects are also concerns. Type of innovation. NVIDIA balances both quantum innovation and incremental innovation. Quantum innovation includes major breakthroughs such as inventing the GPU as a computing platform, creating CUDA, launching AI-specific systems like Tensor Cores and DGX, and developing Omniverse. Incremental innovation includes ongoing improvements to GPU architecture generations, Pascal to Volta to Ampere to Ada Lovelace to Hopper, as well as continuous software updates to CUDA, RTX, DLSS, and TensorRT. Together, quantum innovation drives market disruption, while incremental innovation sustains NVIDIA's competitive advantage each year. Managing innovation. Finally, NVIDIA manages innovation by structuring the entire organization around speed and discovery. The company invests heavily in R&D, more than $5 billion per year, and forms cross-functional teams that combine hardware, software, and AI expertise. Jensen Huang's leadership supports bold decisions and long-term bets. NVIDIA focuses on several specialized divisions, including AI platforms, autonomous vehicles, data center, Omniverse, and gaming through GeForce. To boost innovation, NVIDIA uses strategic acquisitions, partnerships with companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and Google, and promotes open AI software ecosystems to drive wide adoption. The culture consistently rewards experimentation and creative thinking. The result, NVIDIA maintains its position as the global leader in AI hardware by driving rapid innovation and full-stack technology development.
Some sources of conflict at NVIDIA. So NVIDIA faces several internal tensions that shape how the company operates. One is investors push for fast AI growth, while teams inside the company sometimes want to focus on long-term research. Another one is limited chip manufacturing at TSMC. This also creates conflict over which product gets built first. The AI division has grown so fast that it sometimes competes with the gaming side for funding and talent, and engineers often struggle to balance new innovation with hitting product deadlines. So, a power analysis of NVIDIA subunits. NVIDIA's most important subunit is the data center and AI GPU division. This is because it brings in the most revenue and drives the company's future. The CUDA and AI software teams are the least replaceable. since their expertise gives Nvidia a huge competitive edge. R&D engineering controls the most resources, receiving most of the money and top talent. And the operations and supply chain divisions handle key risk by managing chip production and global suppliers. Influence of NVIDIA's most powerful subunit. The data center and AI GPU division is also the most powerful. It drives major investments into advanced AI hardware. It shapes partnerships with big AI and cloud companies and influences the company budget to focus more on AI growth. Impact of conflict and politics at NVIDIA. So, this power affects decisions across the company. Budget competition often shifts resources towards AI, even when consumer GPU demand rises. The leadership tends to prioritize AI research and CUDA over other long-term projects. The supply chain limits, especially at TSMC, can delay some of those major launches like Hopper or Blackwell GPUs. But overall, the AI division heavily shapes NVIDIA's direction, pushing the company towards enterprise AI, cloud partnerships, and large-scale data center solutions.
Okay, so this is our summary slide going through NVIDIA, how they grew from a gaming graphics company into a global and industry leader in AI technology and GPU system architecture. Um, their commitment to sustainability with a focus on energy efficient data centers, and how they are currently experiencing issues with export controls related to China. We have our references page, just for all of our sources cited throughout the research on this project. And that's the end of our presentation. We thank you for learning more about NVIDIA and their organizational analysis, and we hope you have a good day. Thanks.